Over in timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is just a friendly reminder that if you would like to speak on an item tonight, you may complete a comment card located over by the doors and submit them to me before the item is finished. Thank you.
All right, are we ready to go? All right, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the August 21st meeting of the West Sacramento's Planning Commission. Before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone, please turn off your cell phones or put them on silent so that we don't have any disturbances during this evening's meeting. During public comment, please remain respectful of everyone in attendance, including people on the dais. And with that, we'll go ahead and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Squires.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. Beginning with item number 1, do we have any presentations by the public on matters not on the agenda this evening?
We do not.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have any correspondence or staff communication from the Planning Commission Secretary?
Yes, I want to introduce our new Planning Division Manager, Tristan Osborne. He's going to be taking over as the Secretary for the Planning Commission going forward. So after this, he'll be your Planning Commission Secretary.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. And Seamus, thank you very much for all the work you've done for the Planning Commission and for assisting all the commissioners over the past, 10 months. Thank you very much. All right, and finally, item number 3, disclosure of ex parte communications. Do we have any from any of the commissioners? No? All right. Then moving on, no presentations, no consent agenda. Seeing item number 4, public hearings. We'll start with item number 4, public hearing regarding the proposed conditional use permit and design review for a proposed 90-foot tall temple building at 1029 West Capitol Avenue.
All right, so this item before you tonight is for the Dharma Realm Temple. We go into it. So tonight we're going to go into the recommended action. I'll go over the project itself, what kind of environmental analysis was done, and then get into the transportation management plan. So this item before you tonight, we're requesting a public hearing and taking public comment and certifying the environmental document, which is an initial study of mitigated neg deck. And then also adopting Resolution 25-10 PC, which requests that the Planning Commission approve the conditional use permit for exceeding the 65-foot height limit in the Central Business District Zone, as well as design review consistency for the West Capitol Avenue design guidelines. So this project before you tonight, it's on roughly a 14-acre site right across the street. It is bounded by Merkley Avenue on the western side, West Capitol Avenue on the northern side, Cabaldon Parkway on the southern side. It used to be a motel. It was the El Rancho Motel, built in the early 1940s. And the project before you tonight is a temple building that will be roughly in the middle of the site where the large parking lot is. The site is zoned Central Business District, which allows for a building up to 65 feet. The project is also within the West Capitol Avenue Design Guidelines overlay, which goes down in most of the West Capitol Avenue, a little past Harbor. And really the intent of the West Capitol Avenue Design Guidelines is to see pedestrian-friendly, mixed-use development, really trying to activate West Capitol Avenue. West Capitol Avenue used to be mostly motels. It was a highway, very auto-centric, and the city's goal is for it to be the downtown for West Sacramento and really bring a lot of the waterfront development you see in the Bridge District and the Washington District west, down into the city core in the civic area where we are here at City Hall. The project site is also within the downtown entertainment district. So we have two entertainment districts in West Sacramento. One's the Bridge District, the other is here in the downtown entertainment district. So really, the city wants to see, a lot of entertainment uses and other activities which may increase the foot traffic or, auto traffic in the area. So here are some renderings of the building along with the landscape plan. I have the landscape plan up there because it's a little easier to read than the site plan, but it really goes to show what is proposed. So you can see the temple building in the middle on the plan, and then it's 3 levels. The ground floor is a dining hall, the second story is an educational hall, and the third level is a worship area. And there's a grand staircase leading up from the bus drop-off area at the southwest of the site. The shuttle buses will bring people in off of El Rancho Court, drop them off, and there's the grand staircase. So this temple building is really set up for special events. It'll be used approximately twice a year for about a 2,000 attendee event. The conditional use permit before you tonight it's not actually for the use, it's for exceeding the height. The height limit in the central business district is 65 feet, the temple is 90 feet. Really that area that is going over the 65 feet is the roof. All 3 levels are at, right up around 65 feet or below. And for a kind of a, how high is that really? For reference, City Hall is 55 feet. The average height in an office building is around 12 to 15 feet. So here you can see on the map, in the purple is the central business district zone, that's 65-foot height limit. The project site is outlined in the red dashed line. You can see it's right next to the Grand Gateway overlay. That it has a 90-foot height limit that was adopted by council earlier this year. And the city and our economic development department are working on a project there along with a parking garage. To the south, we have the waterfront zone. The height limit is 250 feet. And for also additional reference, the Ziggurat building, that's that pyramid building right next to the Tower Bridge, that's 156 feet. So as part of the environmental analysis, the consultant Dudek prepared visual sims, and this is in the aesthetics section, showing what does this temple look like from the street, from eye level. So these are the key observation points. There are 5 of them. The first one would be right down the street here, looking right at Merkley and West Capitol on the northern side of the street, looking towards the project site. You can see the temple building right there. The second key observation point is further down West Capitol Avenue, KOP2, and you can barely see the temple. And I'm showing all these because you'll see that while it's 90 feet, it's really not as visually prominent as you may think. So here we have KOP3. This is at the corner of Cabaldon Parkway and West Capitol Avenue. You can't see it. I don't know if you can see on your screen, but there are some red dashes of where it would be. You can see the landscaping blocks the view. Here's KOP4. This is right where the Ironworks townhomes are along Cabaldon Parkway. Same thing. You can't see it. Landscaping screens it. And lastly, right where El Rancho Court and Merkley meet, you can barely see it. It's kind of right above the oleanders. And you can see the red dash is, if you have a larger view of it, you can see the red dash where the temple building is. So there, as I mentioned, there was a CEQA document prepared for this, an initial study, mitigated neg deck. The purpose of this document is really to identify any significant effects this project may have on the environment. There were no significant impacts identified. There were impacts, but they can be mitigated. And those are identified in the mitigation monitoring and reporting plan. This document went out for public review about a month and a half ago, so June 27th through July 28th. It went to the state clearinghouse. It was noticed in the paper, and also was posted at the county clerk. So as I mentioned, there was a transportation management plan prepared that was part of the CEQA document. Really, this site is going to be used. It's going to be used daily, but the main events are twice a year. That's really where the potential impact could be. So the attendees would be coming in from outside of the area. They'd be parking in an off-street parking lot or garage. There are many of those in downtown Sacramento. We have them here in West Sac. We have the access to the Ziggurat Garage on the weekends, which is when these events would be. We also have various surface city lots. So they would park off-site and then get shuttled to the venue on the weekend. So as a condition of approval, they would need to get a special event permit. This is, we process a lot of special event permits in this area for baseball games, marathons, other large events that have a lot of traffic. Now, the special purpose of the special event permit really is to make sure that the city is aware of it. We have adequate staffing for police if needed, for traffic control, and just to make sure that they don't overlap with other special events. So to reiterate, tonight we're here for a public hearing to certify the initial study and mitigating neg deck, and to adopt Resolution 25-10 PC approving the requested CUP and design review to allow the 90-foot tall temple building. Thank you. Looking forward to your questions, and the applicant also has remarks to make.
All right. Thank you very much, Seamus. At this point, I will open the public hearing. We'll start with comment. And I believe we'll start by inviting the applicant up.
Good evening, Chair, fellow commissioners. My name is Diane Kinderman. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Abbott and Kinderman, and I represent the sagely city of Dharma Realm. We would like to thank you for having this hearing this evening, for putting it on your calendar, and we appreciate you listening to our comments and to Seamus's presentation. Before I begin with our presentation, we're not going to repeat everything Seamus just told you, but we do want to make sure we let you know how much we appreciate West Sacramento's wonderful staff, how well they have worked with us, answered our questions, and facilitated the process of helping us get through the process, I should say. So we are very appreciative of Seamus, wherever he went, and his team, there you are, very appreciative of it, as well as Dudek, who drafted the environmental document. They've just been a great team to work with. So thanks to all of them, and for you for having them here. And so with that, just a couple of things we'd like to do. I would like to, I'm going to make just a few comments myself, but following me will be a few representatives from Dharma Realm who would like to speak for just a couple of minutes. And I'm going to tell you right now what order they're going to appear in. So the first person and what their role is with Dharma Realm. So the first person after me is going to be Paul Gumminger. He is the architect of the temple concept, and he met years ago, and he may be able to tell you this, and worked through the concept for this back in the early 90s, the original concepts. We also have here with us today, he won't be speaking, but the project architect Eric Chen as well. He flew up from LA to be here with us. But speaking after Mr. Gumminger is going to be Tammy Wu. Tammy is the vice president of the K through 12 school that is located at Dharma Realm. Some people don't know there's a school there. There is one. It's K through 12, and it's very successful. The students have done well. The next person to speak is Dharma Master Gui, and she is the manager of Dharma Realm, of the city of Dharma Realm. After that is Dharma Master Shur, and she is the assistant manager of the city of Dharma Realm and principal of the K through 12 school. And then I'll just wrap up and answer any questions you might have, and we'll keep it moving quickly. So those are the participants who would like to speak briefly. We've provided cards for each of them as well. And so what I would like to say is, I think, before I bring Paul Gumbinger up here, I think there are 5 key reasons why you should approve this project. I'm going to go through those really quickly. Seamus did a great job, but I would just want to, as a lawyer, the kind of things that are important are consistency with your existing plans and your existing zoning. And so this project is consistent with your general plan. We did not need a general plan amendment for this. So it's consistent with your goals and policies and designations of that general plan. So that's part of the reason you should approve this. It's consistent with your zoning. We did not need a rezone. It's in the central business district. That is intended to provide for development of urban, civic, and a cultural core. And here Dharma Realm is going to create and they already have done so, but will even more so with this new project, enhance the cultural aspect of their activities here in the city. They are a community assembly land use, which is permitted by right in the central business district. So again, they're consistent with your zoning. There is also an overlay zone, the Downtown Entertainment District. That district is planned as active and event-oriented areas for vibrant and regular special events. Again, that's what this project is going to provide. So it is consistent with your Downtown Entertainment District. You have a 2025 strategic plan for economic development. This project is consistent with that as well. It advances the plan by facilitating this development, and there will be thousands of visitors who come annually, and the city will reap the benefits of those, the economic benefits of those visitors as well. So having said that, you've got consistency with important plans and your zoning, and that's one of the reasons you should approve the project. The next one is environmentally appropriate, as Seamus very clearly stated and Dudek identified in working with the city in the environmental document. There are no significant environmental impacts as a result of this project. So no more needs to be said than that. The last 2 other reasons are important as well, that the city of Dharma Realm and all of their members, and you're here today, have been here since 1992 in your community. They have been a valuable community member. In many ways, they've provided educational, religious, cultural, and even health benefits with the wonderful meals that are open to the public, the vegan meals open to the public since 1992. And these benefits will be briefly highlighted by some of the other speakers as well. But this new and improved space is going to enable them to serve even more people and have more open circulation and what have you over at that site that is going to further improve their community outreach and continue to make them a valuable community member here in West Sacramento. And then the final reason that this should be approved is because it's architecturally iconic. This project is going to put West Sacramento on the map in an architecturally unique manner, because this Jeweled Palace Temple will be the only one of its kind in the United States in a city, in a downtown urban city. And West Sacramento will be it. And there will be people from all over the world coming here to benefit from its presence. And so with that, those are the 5 reasons that I would say would be wise to approve this project. If you would, we would appreciate if you would, and follow the recommendation of your staff. And so with that, I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them right now, and if I can answer them later if you have any later.
I think we'll
Questions?
hold off on questions for now, but thank you very much for your comment.
You're very welcome. Thank you for listening. And with that, Paul Gumbinger is going to follow. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Diane, and good evening. I'm Paul Gumbinger. I'm the architect for the original project. I first have to turn back the pages of history. We'll go back to 1992, when I first met the Venerable Master, who is the founder of the Dharma Realm Buddhist Association. He and I met, and he commissioned me to design a new temple, the Jewel Temple, in 1992. And that evolved into the concepts that went to the Planning Commission and to the City Council, which finally approved the project in September of 1993. The project really is basically the same as I designed originally through all this time. And the design is based historically on temples that go back many centuries. So it has some religious connotations and so on that are all incorporated into the design. So the design itself, as I said, hasn't changed. It's been enhanced. It's been well looked at. And I'm very happy to see it finally, my baby, going forth to you as the Planning Commission. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, and thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you very much for your comment.
Excuse me, Chair Delgado. We'd just like to clarify whether the additional comments that are coming, if they're going to be timed and considered as a part of the session or the presentation.
I'm considering this as part of the presentation.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman, Vice Chair Alvarez, members of the Planning Commission, good evening. My name is Tammy Wu, and I'm a spokesperson for the City of Dharma Realm. We're so excited to be here tonight, finally, and we're delighted to be here. I'll make my comments short. I'm just here to introduce Dharma Master Gui and Dharma Master Shi to the podium. They would like to share a few words with everyone tonight. Dharma Master Gui, as Ms. Kinderman mentioned earlier, is the manager of the temple. Dharma Master Shi is the assistant manager and principal of our K-12 school. So first up will be Dharma Master Gui. So thank you.
Amitofo. Good evening. On behalf of all the monastics of the city of Dharma Realm and the Dharma Realm Buddhist Association, I would like to thank everyone who have been a part of the Jewel Palace Temple project. This is truly a historical moment for the city of Dharma Realm and the city of West Sacramento as we move forward and step closer to the realization of the Jewel Palace. We are grateful to be able to carry out the vision and mission of our founder, Venerable Master Hsuan Hua, to spread peace and harmony to our community and the world through education. Through the practice of the sixth great guiding principle of no fighting, no greed, no seeking, no selfishness, and no self-advantages, and no lying. We look forward to working with the city to promote kindness and compassion, harmony and peace, in addition to elevating the quality of life in Greater West Sacramento region and beyond. Relying on the strength of Venerable Master Hua's vow, along with the unique architecture of the temple building, the presence of the Jewel Palace Temple will create a harmonious space within the city, attract people from all over the world, making West Sacramento a must-visit destination, and bringing prosperity to West Sacramento, benefit its citizens not only economically but spiritually. In conclusion, we are grateful for the hard work that everyone has put in making the Jewel Palace Temple project possible. We look forward to its completion and wish to see everyone at the grand open ceremony. Thank you and have a good evening. Amitofo.
All right, thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Heng Shi, and I am the assistant manager of City of Dharma Realm and the principal of the K-12 school on our campus. All of us are delighted to be here today to witness this momentous occasion
of the city approving the Jewel Palace Temple project. We are grateful to all those who have been involved in helping us, guiding us, and supporting us through this process, especially the planning commissioners, city council members, and the city staff. As the principal of the school, it is my wish and responsibility to carry out and realize the vision and mission of our school set by our founder, the veteran master Xuan Hua, which is to promote the education and practice of the 8 virtues as expounded by Confucius. And they are respecting elders and parents, or filial piety, brotherhood or fraternity, loyalty, trustworthiness, propriety, integrity, incorruptibility, and humility, or sense of shame. If our youth learn how to incorporate these virtues into their daily lives, in their thoughts and actions, this world would be a much better place in which everyone will thrive in harmony. Kindness and compassion will permeate the air, and the world will be peaceful. With the opening of the Jewel Palace Temple, we look forward to attracting more students, not only locally, but worldwide, to our school, so we may all work together to make our community and this world a better place. Thank you, and have a good evening. Amen Tofo.
Thank you. All right, are there additional public comments?
We do not.
Thank you very much. Then I will, sorry, is there anything else?
That concludes our presentation. If you have any questions right now for me or for anyone else.
Okay. Yeah, at this time, we'll go ahead and bring it back to the commission. Commissioners, are there any questions or follow-up for either city staff or the applicant?
Just out of curiosity, it seems this might actually be directed towards the architect, but was there a significance of the height in the development, in the design of the temple?
It was not deemed to be a significant impact because.
No, not impact, but
oh.
is there a certain reason why the design was at that particular feet?
That is the traditional height of this type of a jeweled palace. Would one of you like to speak to that, or Paul? What I will tell you is this, and there we included in the CEQA document an attachment that has the religious significance of each component of it, and I don't recall about the height, perhaps Paul or Eric? Thank you.
Well, originally, the master wanted a 3-story building. So on the lower floor, again, is the dining facility. That is for the body. Then we have the second floor is basically for the mind, which is educational facilities. And then finally, the temple floor itself. And of course, there was at one time to be a full-size statue, a Buddha statue in the temple hall. So hence the height was determined by all of those together. When you look at the floor plan plates and also then the height, there's a relationship between the overall floor plan and the height of the various elements, and the highest element being the Buddha hall in order to accommodate the Buddha statue itself. That was the original for the height. It was all evolved out of that. Okay. Does that answer your question?
It does. I figured there was some sort of significance for the height. So I was just curious to what that was.
Most definitely. We went totally through all of that to make sure that it all conformed, especially it conformed at the time.
All right. Any additional questions for the applicant or staff or other
Anything
comments?
else? I think good question.
actually, this actually is more directed towards staff. And because I was trying to find the slide in the presentation, where you said that the section, the little triangular section that's not included in this plan, the city had approved a 90-foot earlier this year.
Yeah,
And I'm
pulling that
curious
up.
if that was approved earlier this, yeah, right, that was the one right there. So that Grand Gateway, 90 feet there, was there a reason why then that this section could not have been included in that process, or?
I believe we discussed this either late last year or early this year. We were like rezoning, we were rezoning a few different things into one new location.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
So that Grand Gateway overlay is really for a specific project that the city's Economic Development Department has been working on. If you go beyond that, you're looking at more of a rezone of kind of the whole central business district.
okay.
And that Grand Gateway is kind of the intersection of 3 different zones. So it was looked at individually. And before that, there was the cities had the Grand Gateway master design standards on the books for quite a while. So it is a separate area.
So to provide a bit of clarity there, yeah, it's, separate site, separate project. So that project seeked its own, the 90 feet height, and this is a totally separate application.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but I did really appreciate the points of view that you put up. That was great to give perspective of what it'll look like with those renderings. I do appreciate everyone coming out today. I don't think we've had this many people out in a while. So it's great everyone came out in support of this project. I think it's a great project. Lots of thought went into the design. It's been in the works since 1992. It's a beautiful temple.
all right. Anything else? Nope. All right, officially going to close public comment. I think I forgot to do that earlier. It's been a while. And with that, do we have a motion on this item?
Just to clarify, sorry, that'd be closing the public hearing.
Yes.
Sorry. Thank you.
Yes.
I'll move to approve staff's recommendation.
I'll second.
All right, and let's take a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Jackson,
Aye.
Commissioner Sablon, Vice Chair Olivares,
Aye.
Chair Delgado,
Aye.
Commissioner Squires,
Abstain.
Commissioner Wong.
Aye.
All right. And with that, staff's recommendation passes. So look forward to seeing this move forward.
Thank you.
I have one brief statement to read regarding any potential appeals.
Give me, I can read it. I got it. Any interested party may appeal the decision of the Planning Commission in this matter to the City Council by filing a written appeal with the city clerk within 15 days of tonight's action, and that appeal must be accompanied by the appropriate filing fee.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. That brings us to the end of that item. If you do not want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you're more than welcome to leave now. Otherwise, we'll move on to item number 5.
Thank you all.
It's nervous. It's nerve-wracking.
See if this brings the temperature down. All right. Thank you for your patience while we let everyone clear out. Moving on to item number 5, a public hearing regarding a setback variance for an RV cover at 1512 Michigan Boulevard.
Good evening, Chair and members of the Commission. Tonight before you is the Reyes variance. The menu on tonight's agenda is the variance request and recommendation, so we'll start there. The variance request is for an RV cover that exists today. It seeks to reduce the setback from 15 feet to 0 along Portsmouth Avenue, and the side yard required setback of 5 feet to 0. Exceed the max height for accessory structures of 12 feet, and keep the existing unpermitted 47 by 15 foot high and wide RV cover. And its staff's recommendation is to deny the requested variance. Moving forward, the project site is located at 1512 Michigan Boulevard at the intersection of Michigan Boulevard and Portsmouth. As you can see from the aerial view, the site is a typical corner lot anywhere in the city. It's average size in the neighborhood. There's no unique features on the project site that would require any kind of variation to accommodate. Here is the project site plan. As you can see in red on the left-hand side is the existing unpermitted RV cover. It is on the property line, both on Portsmouth frontage and to the adjacent neighbor to the north. And it shows the relationship to the size of the house. Here are some street views. On the left-hand side is a Portsmouth elevation. As you can see, the extremely large structure is immediately adjacent to the sidewalk, which is out of character for any residential neighborhood in the front yard. It also, per a comment letter, it appears to provide a vision issue with them exiting out of their driveway. On the right-hand side, you can see the intersection of Portsmouth and Michigan Avenue. And as you can see, if they round the corner on Michigan to Portsmouth, there is no stop sign. They can clearly pass through, and there could be an altercation with the inability to see. Again, the Michigan Boulevard is the side. Portsmouth, I forgot to mention, is actually the front yard. And the way that's measured in the zoning ordinance is the longer sides of the property are the side, and the shorters are the front and the rear. So Portsmouth is the front yard as defined in the zoning ordinance. Code enforcement, just so a little brief background, we have a department of staff that does complaint basis. So when a complaint is received, code enforcement investigates. They will adjudicate the case. They will discuss with the appropriate departments. If a code violation is found, they will work for voluntary compliance with the property owner, business owner, or homeowner. So it's a complaint basis submitted to the city. Moving forward, here is the timeline of events that occurred in August 2024. A complaint was received by the city for paving of the front yard area. Upon review of development engineering, they concluded that there was no issue with it, and they closed the code enforcement case. In November 2024, the homeowner discussed with staff, and we provided the required setbacks and explained the nature of the accessory structures requirements and the need for a building permit. At that time, the homeowner had elevation plans, but no site plan was associated with that. In attachment 3 of your staff report, you'll see that the contractor informed the homeowner at that time a building permit was needed as well. Moving forward to January 2025, code enforcement received a complaint. Upon a site visit, a partially built RV cover was erected. Again, no permits had been secured. And that was on January 28th. On January 29th, a stop work order was placed by the building department for an illegally constructed structure without seeking permits. After that time, the homeowner came in, discussed with staff. We had an impromptu meeting with building, code enforcement, and planning, again reiterating the required setbacks and explained them and encouraged them to submit for a building permit. Moving forward to February 2025, the RV cover was fully complete. No permit was submitted or applied for, and no permit was granted. They continued an unpermitted structure. At that time, a notice of abate by code enforcement was issued, and several citations at the request of the applicant, homeowner, have been requested, and that was extended to April 14th. At that time, no movement whatsoever had been processed. There was no end goal at that time. A citation was issued by code enforcement for the unpermitted structure and in lack of movement. Excuse me. So a little bit about variance in general. A lot haven't come before the commission lately. A variance is a way to relieve some of the zoning requirements on certain processes. In this case, they are held to a high level of standard. It's actually in the government code as well as the zoning ordinance. And the reason for the high threshold is there's 4 required findings. All findings have to be made in the affirmative in order to approve the project. I will go into those later one by one. It does provide a unique or administrative relief for unique property. Again, as I pointed out earlier, staff identified no unique properties of this particular site that would warrant any of that. It's not intended to provide any advantage over your neighboring properties as well. What a variance is not is something that alleviates you from a workaround of the zoning rules. It's not because the zoning doesn't work for me and this is a workaround. And it certainly doesn't provide a special privilege that you wouldn't grant to anyone else. It is for such as you have a heritage oak tree in your backyard and you have to stay out of the drip line. And in order to meet the setback, you'd have to be in the drip line. The variance would offer you some relief so you can enjoy the same thing as your neighbor does. Not a grant of a special privilege that someone else in your neighborhood cannot have. So that's a little bit of a background of what a variance process is. As I mentioned, there's 4 findings. Finding 1 is essentially, is there unique elements to the property that should be taken into consideration in your review, such as topography, oak tree, a waterway, something that is inherently different about this property that their neighbors don't have to deal with, and thus a variance would allow them administrative relief, again, to enjoy the same thing as their neighbor, not to be different. It's a typical shape, the average corner lot anywhere in the city. Same setbacks are applied to all these properties equally. A granting of this variance would constitute a special privilege, and therefore staff has determined this finding cannot be met. Finding 2 is this necessary to prevent a physical hardship. Again, it's a large corner property that is anywhere else in the city. Staff has discussed many corner lots with people with regards to accessory structures, and they've made it work. The physical hardship that was presented here is the homeowner built the unpermitted structure illegally without seeking permit. Again, no permits had been submitted and no permits were issued. Therefore, this finding cannot be met. Finding 3 is that detrimental or injurious to the community. Does it provide a safety issue? It's incongruent with the neighborhood, as you saw in the color photos. It's immediately adjacent to the sidewalk. It doesn't provide for good walkability. It's out of character for the neighborhood. It's illegally built. It provides an obstructive line of view, as the comment letter we received today from the adjacent neighbor. Therefore, this finding cannot be met. And finally, Finding 4 is it consistent with the general plan. While your attachment in your staff report goes into great depth in the findings and analysis, these are some of the highlights. It's out of character of the neighborhood, it's out of scale in the massing. It's not the setback norm. That's why the front back setbacks are there. It doesn't provide an active frontage. It doesn't provide for good walkability. And it doesn't have a scaling down effect in the front yard, and it provides an abrupt transition when the general plan expressly wants a natural transition rather than an abrupt. And finally, CPTED, which is knowing it's community policing prevention, crime prevention through environmental design, and that is an element of vision. If you have vision on your front yard and you can see the street and the neighbor can see, it provides a way to check on the street if something's going on, natural surveillance. Again, this policy was brought forward to you on other projects as well. Therefore, this finding cannot be met. Staff's recommendation to the Planning Commission is certify that section, CEQA section 15270, denying of a project is appropriate CEQA level review. And the second recommendation is staff is recommending denial of the variance as the lack of conformance with the required findings as stated in the report. I'm happy to answer any questions. I also have Code Enforcement Manager Josh Hurley for any code enforcement related matters you wish to ask about.
All right, thank you. Does the commission have any questions for staff at this time?
So you had the diagram of the property. So it said in the materials we were provided that there was a location on the eastern portion of the property that could accommodate this within the zoning requirements.
Well, is there property over on the eastern side? Yes. But normally you would seek to have a site plan reviewed by staff and a building permit approved so you know it would accommodate the size of structure you're looking for.
Oh. Okay, so there's some potential on that side.
For the size of the structure that these have there, I don't know.
Okay.
But again, we weren't contacted with the site plan prior to review, so we had nothing until after the fact.
Oh, thank you.
Any other questions for staff at this time? No? All right. Thank you. Then as part of the presentation, I believe the applicant, Mark Reyes, would like to present. Sorry, Mark, just a moment. Are we allowed to do that? Okay, and we'll open it up to public comment. But this comment will be untimed, correct? Thank you.
Good evening. Honorable members of the City of West Sacramento Planning Commission, I appreciate the opportunity to speak before you today and to present my request for the approval of a variance concerning the shade structure I have built on my property. My intention in constructing the shade structure was to enhance the livability and utility of my home, as well as to improve the overall quality of life for my family and guests. I understand the local codes and regulations exist to ensure the orderly development and safety of our community, and I'm here to respectfully explain why a variance is not only necessary, but also reasonable and in harmony with the intent of city ordinances. My property is located at 1512 Michigan Boulevard, where outdoor living is both common and highly valued. The climate in our region is characterized by hot summers and abundant sunshine, making shade not merely a convenience, but a necessity. Recognizing this need, I researched the options for providing shade and decided on a structure that would be both aesthetically pleasing and functional. I'd also like to add that there are similar structures in the local area, and one on the corner similar to mine in the Broderick area is where I got the idea from. So it's on the side, it's a corner lot, it shades a similar RV, and it's similar in size. So, let's see. The Sage structure was designed with care using high-quality materials and professional workmanship to ensure safety, durability, and visual harmony. Despite my efforts to comply with all applicable building codes and zoning requirements, circumstances unique to my property necessitate the request for a variance. The specific issue relates to the setback requirement, which, as written, precludes the placement of a shade structure of the size and configuration needed to achieve my intended outcome. My lot is irregular in shape, with less usable area in the rear yard than typical for properties in the vicinity. As a result, adherence to the standard setback would significantly reduce the functional space and undermine the benefits that the shade structure is meant to provide. In reviewing my request, I asked the Commission to consider the essential purpose of the setback regulation to promote safety, privacy, and aesthetic coherence. The addition of a well-designed shade structure offers several benefits, not only to my household, but to the surrounding community as well. Additionally, shade structures like mine are environmentally beneficial, particularly during periods of extreme heat. This, in turn, contributes to reduced utility costs and lessens the environmental footprint. The use of sustainable materials and design features further enhances the ecological value of the project. I am fully aware that any request for a variance must be carefully weighed against possible concerns, including issues of precedence, neighborhood compatibility, and fairness. In anticipation of these considerations, I have taken several preactive steps. I've consulted with the neighbors prior to the construction, shared my intended design, and solicited feedback. The response was overwhelmingly positive. No objections or concerns were raised regarding the project. I retained a licensed contractor with experience in local building practices to ensure compliance with all safety-related codes. The structure was sited and designed to minimize visual prominence and preserve open sight for adjacent properties. All landscaping and drainage features and walkways were planned to prevent runoff erosion, other environmental hazards. I am open to further suggestions or adjustments that the Commission may deem necessary to address any outstanding concerns. My priority is to be responsible and consider neighborhood while fulfilling the needs of my family. City ordinances recognize the unique circumstances, sometimes warrant exceptions to general rules. The provision for variances exists precisely to address situations like mine, where strict adherence to code would result in unique hardship or prevent reasonable use of my property. In my case, the hardship is not self-imposed, but arises from the physical constraints of the lot and the need to adapt to local climate conditions. Granting this variance would not confer any special privilege, nor would it undermine the integrity of the code or the goals of city planning. The shade structure is well within the character of the neighborhood, and approval would be consistent with past precedents for similar requests. The city's comprehensive plan encourages the creation of livable, attractive, and sustainable environment, a goal that my project strives to enhance. In summary, I ask the Planning Commission to approve my request for a variance, enabling the shade structure to remain as constructed. The project reflects a thoughtful, responsible approach to improving the livability of my home and contributing to the well-being of the community. It is consistent with the spirit of city regulations, fulfills an urgent need for relief from the climate, and respects the rights and interests of neighboring property owners. I am grateful for your time and consideration, and I'm available to answer any questions or provide additional information. I want to thank you for the dedication to the stewardship of our city and your attention to this matter. Now, there's a few rebuttal items that I'd like to submit. And the fact that there are similar structures that didn't require permits and variances in the area, which prompted me to say, hey, should be able to do this too. He cited dates. There were dates involved. Up until January, we were going back and forth. I was speaking in turn with City Council member Norma Lacala, who was in turn speaking to the city manager, Aaron Laurel. And it was the recommendation of the city manager for me being here tonight to apply for the variance, to pay the money, and to apply and to proceed forward. So it is not detrimental to any walkways. That's been reviewed. And that's pretty much all I can think of at this time. So I'm asking the city council, or the council and the planning commission, to approve what has been there for the better part of a year and have had no problems. The vision, or the not blocking, sight driving around the corner, it's open. It's open. I think the trees have more of a blockage than the structure does. And I think to answer your question, on the east side, there was no room for that structure. That's the only part. I've had a motorhome there since the 1980s when I moved in, and there was no concern then about it. I did not create a structure, a shade structure then. They weren't really popular back in the 80s. You didn't see them as regularly as you do now. I also had a shade structure there for about 15 years, covering my truck, and other camper that I've had there. There was a shade structure, but it wasn't as big. It had the capability of being raised so I can open up the trailer, and then I could lower it. And I've had that for the better part of 15 years there with no problems. So the need for this is because I upgraded the motorhome. I had the space on my lot to extend the driveway, which had started this. And then during that time, I discussed the intent of creating a shade structure. So this started back with the project in August. So it finally came to January, and I was recommended to move forward with this structure. So, and here I am with the recommendation from the city manager, city council members to proceed with the project. So that's where I'm at. So if there are any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
All right. Thank you for your comment, Mark. We'll hold off on comments for the applicant right now. We have the public comment open. So are there additional public comments?
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hannelore Cooch? Okay, Dieter Cooch?
My name's Dieter Cooch. These are my folks, Bill and Hannelore Cooch. And we own the property adjacent to Mark's RV. And it's 1516 Portsmouth and 1508, both sides. We find that there's definitely a blind spot on 1560 Portsmouth, and also as you go around Michigan, due that he didn't go by the city regulations of 15-foot. It, as you can see, if you can bring up, the gentleman had here the RV elevation project. So the property where the back of that vehicle is right there is your 1516 Portsmouth. My parents frequently see the neighbor there, and most people don't want to come. And her mother also is about my parents' age, scared to get out of that parking lot. So, you know, if it would have been, it's not in regulation, and due to not be in regulation, I see definitely a blind spot, and I'm worried about somebody getting killed. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Hannelore Cooch?
Yeah. I'm not very good about this, but the place itself, like I say, we own 1508 Michigan, and then we own Portsmouth, and the lady that the renter in the post is deadly afraid to get out of it. She says she is worried because she can look over the motorhome. She has no sight, so it's totally a death trap for her. It's not a good place to have the motorhome. It's way too large. It doesn't belong there.
Thank you very much for your comment.
Justin Reyes?
Hello, council members. I'm glad that you have this picture up right here. There was 2 points that I heard this evening that I want to, rebuke. As for what has been made comments of visualization, that seemed to be targeted more at the RV itself and not the structure in question. If the structure in question were to be the size it was supposed to be, that would then cause a safety issue with visibility for that neighbor. However, as you can see, that structure is high enough and it's seen through that it wouldn't cause a safety issue, but what's in question is visibility due to the RV itself. So I want to make sure that we separate the RV versus the structure. And the other comment was previous in regards to, I think it was neighbor security or visibility safety. There's another image if you want to pull up the aerial view. There's houses all around that corner, and there's no hindrance to visibility or safety or any concerns on that street. I grew up there my whole life. So everybody in the neighborhood can see everything at that corner. It's a corner lot. It's a busy street. So in terms of safety or concern with the neighbors, I mean, they're always reporting or seeing anything. I mean, I was a kid, and even the adjacent neighbors, as you can see, they called my parents on me all the time. So
I can't.
Sorry.
So again, so the concern is the motorhome itself.
Justin, sorry. Could you pause the time, please? Thank you. Mrs. Gooch, your public comment has ended, so please allow Justin to speak. Thank you.
So those are the 2 points I wanted to make, and just wanted to really highlight the separation of the RV versus the structure. And tonight, this is about the structure and not the RV itself. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
There are no additional comments.
All right. Thank you. At this time, we will close the public comment, bring it back to the commission for discussion.
I had a question for our city staff. Just for my knowledge, do we have any record of similar structures that Mr. Reyes mentions having been complained on or brought to the city's attention?
We have several, complaints that have come in on illegal structures, accessory structures in general, and those are adjudicated through our code enforcement department with planning. And sometimes if they're 120 square feet or less, they have different regulations and they don't require a permit. If they're over 120 square feet, they do require different setbacks and have a height limitation, and they do require a building permit.
Okay, so to your best recollection right now, being asked on the spot, there are no like structures to that of Mr. Reyes's that are currently out of compliance or on the radar of city staff being addressed?
I'm not aware if any structures out there personally.
Okay.
And I'll jump in to provide some additional clarity. Based on our current standards, nothing would be permitted if it were to come in today. Occasionally, due to the age of our city being relatively new, sometimes there are structures that were built prior to incorporation or under a different version of the zoning code that may or may not be grandfathered in or legal non-conforming. but city staff would have to verify that on an individual case-by-case basis, whether it was permitted and or if it was legal nonconforming.
Thank you.
I want to add one more thing. It's important to remember that that code enforcement in West Sacramento is a complaint-driven process. The city does not have sufficient staff to be out driving every neighborhood to look for code violations. So to the extent that there may be a structure that is out of compliance, if it hasn't been brought to the city's attention, there's nothing to be done about it. You just don't have the staff to be, and I don't know that the Planning Commission wants the staff to be out driving every neighborhood looking for a code violation.
I had a question. When code enforcement was called for the slab, that was found to be in compliance, right? Pouring the new slab where that work was being done.
For the pavement work,
So is there anything to prevent him from parking, Mr. Reyes from parking the RV there without the structure?
the front yard area is not for parking of an RV.
Okay. So that would be a code enforcement issue as well?
Correct.
Okay. And you said we have someone from code enforcement here?
Josh Hurley, our code enforcement manager, is here in the audience.
May I ask you a question? Yeah, thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. So have you received any code enforcement violations regarding the location of the RV?
For the address located here?
Correct, just the RV. It's specifically for the RV when it was parked there.
I can't say that, I can't remember receiving specifically for the RV. It was for the structure that was being built.
Okay.
The structure was there before, obviously the RV was parked underneath it.
And there were no previous complaints about RVs or trailers or anything there?
Not that I can recall at this address.
Okay, thank you. Any other?
And, oh, go ahead. No, go. Are you sure?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Let's see. Did I lose my thought? I do have a question for Mr. Reyes.
I'm sorry, but the public comment is currently closed.
The public.
Hi, Mr. Reyes.
Hello.
I just had a quick clarifying question. So I understand that you understand that the structure as it stands today is out of compliance based on your understanding of the required codes that need to be adhered to in order to effectuate.
Yes, that's why I'm here requesting a variance.
Okay. So a gap for me that I have is understanding any challenges you may have experienced going through the permitting process. It just seems to me, based on your knowledge and the way that you're able to articulate the needs of the structure to
It was
accommodate.
negative from the get-go, from the start. Even before I submitted plans, there was costs involved, and I was recommended that if I move forward, there were going to be additional costs. So during the time after the concrete was poured, before the building, we were going back and forth whether or not I should submit the request for site plans, which has already been rejected by the Planning Commission, or this, who I turned it into. They already rejected it, so there's no sense in me trying to go any further when they made it clear that they were not going to permit it. On the other hand, the discussion was with Councilmember Akala, other people involved, that there are similar structures in the area. And if those were to be permitted to stand, why couldn't I have one? And it was all about a setback rule and the height and the placement of these. I had numerous pictures, numerous documentation about similar structures in the local area. There's one right down the street carport that's right along the sidewalk. It's got to be maybe no more than 3 feet from the sidewalk that shades. It's a double carport. You could fit 2 cars underneath it. It's right down the block from my house. It doesn't stand as tall, but it's the setback issue. We're staying here. So the one that's located in Broderick, that's located on the corner of Douglas and Cummings, is similar. It's built right on the property line. I guess it's considered the side of the house, although they have a fence, a 6-foot fence that is on the sidewalk. I guess right there, the sidewalk, and then it's a shade structure. They still have a similar RV that's that size. It's a Class A. It's drivable. They have a similar structure, and that's been there for years. So, like I say, that's where I got the idea to build mine. The reason it stands at that is because I'm not capable of going out straight forward towards the Michigan side. There's an ADA corner. We couldn't cross that, so which was pointed out. The only access I had was to the side on Portsmouth, and I actually been able to drive that back in and forth. I mean, if you look from that, yeah, it takes, yeah. So I drive it in, and the required height for that is 12 feet. So in order to get that 12-foot clearance with the structure and the way it's built, it had to go up to that height. So, and like I say, there's no obstruction of view from the structure. You can clearly see right through it. The RV was going to be parked there anyway. So it's the RV I think that they're complaining about. But the structure, I've got nothing but positive comments on it aesthetically. I'd still like to complete it once the variance is approved and the stop order is lifted. I'd still like to paint it, the framework, match the house, and make it aesthetically more pleasing to the community.
Thank you, Mr. Reyes.
all.
Just so you know where I stand, and I appreciate your forthcomingness and being honest with us, is where I have pause for extreme concern is that you knowingly moved forward with constructing a structure that is out of compliance.
With recommendation from the city manager.
I understand that, Mr. Reyes. Let me just finish my thought.
I'm sorry.
You have more time to
I'm sorry.
engage with the commissioners. And for those reasons, I will not be in favor of approving the variance. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Any more questions?
Yeah, so you said the city manager recommended the variance. Was that after you had built it?
Yes.
Oh, so why didn't you seek a variance before proceeding with
I didn't
building?
know what a variance was. I didn't know, the variance. It was brought to my attention from the city manager saying to apply for it.
Hi, if I may, I wasn't around when these conversations may have been had, but I do know that throughout this process, staff has been forthcoming about the process and what requirements are there, and so I'm not sure if a council member or executive leadership of the city what requirements or standards they or information they were operating under, but staff at our counter on multiple occasions have made it clear to the applicant what the requirements were. So just to be clear there.
Yeah, I think similarly to Vice Chair Olivares in that, you were told by city staff that this wouldn't be in compliance with the code and then proceeded to build it anyways. That would have been the point to seek a workaround then. And now coming after you've built it and said, hey, I've built this thing, is it okay? When you knew from the get-go that it wasn't okay.
Okay, it was built before any stop order or any notice. Like I say, I was going on the recommendation, council member and city manager.
I'm sorry, but I find it difficult to believe that a council member would tell you to build something without a permit.
Okay, that was a conversation we should have Norma Acala here and represent.
And in any event, with all due respect, no single council member nor the city manager has the authority to override the requirements of the code.
And I'd like to remind the commission that the action tonight is on a variance. And so making sure to make your decision based on the variance findings that are required, not process, nor what may be permitted or unpermitted on other sites that are not relevant to this one. So if you can please remember to stick to those variance findings, that's what you need to make your take your action on.
So the concerns we had were also because the RV is parked there. I just wanted to clarify, I think what Mr. Hardy said earlier is that that RV cannot be parked where it is parked, or is that not correct?
So based on the applicant's testimony tonight, there's some information about previous vehicles, and so the code kind of depends on when things went into place, whether or not it can be parked in the front yard or front setback or not, which is, as a reminder, the Portsmouth frontage is the front yard.
I disagree. That's a side yard. My front door's on Michigan. My property is 1512 Michigan Boulevard, not Portsmouth.
Mr. Chair, with all due respect, I think we've had the testimony from the applicant. I think it's time for commission deliberations.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Sorry, but public comment has closed. Thank you for your testimony, Mr. Reyes. Are there any other comments from the commission before I? None? Okay. So with regard to the city report and the 4 findings, during my note-taking, relief for unique property, I don't necessarily see that is specifically unique. I do understand that there's not really another place to put it on the property, but, I might leave that slightly up to interpretation. Finding number 2 is where I have the hardest time, which is the physical hardship to homeowner outside of the control. As you said, there were discussions with city staff. They told you that this was not going to qualify for a permit, most likely, and construction proceeded. So, we could be having a discussion about a variance, but we're kind of discussing something that ship sailed. So I wouldn't say that was outside of your control. You could have held off, I think. Not detrimental to the community. I don't think it looks terrible, especially if it was painted. But again, we should be talking about design and location and those things before it goes up. So, I'm having a hard time seeing it any other way than the other commissioners that have previously spoken. So, any other comments from anyone? All right. And then with that, I believe we will close our public hearing and and see if we have a motion one way or another.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to go ahead and make the motion to approve staff's recommendation, and that's to deny the variance. Thank you.
All right, and I would like to proceed with a roll call vote as well.
I'll second that motion.
Oh, sorry. Yes, roll call vote. Thank you.
Sorry, who was the second?
There was a motion made to follow staff's recommendation and deny the variance from, I believe, Vice Chair Olivares, seconded by Commissioner Wong, and now we'll be taking a vote.
Okay. Commissioner Jackson?
Aye.
Commissioner Sablon?
Aye.
Vice Chair Olivares?
Aye.
Chair Delgado?
Aye.
Commissioner Squires?
Aye.
Commissioner Wong?
Aye.
All right, and then
The motion carries. Regarding any appeals, the appeal language, any interested party may appeal the decision of the Planning Commission in this matter to the City Council by filing a written appeal with the City Clerk within 15 days of tonight's action, and that appeal must be accompanied by the appropriate filing fee.
all right, thank you. Sorry about that, Mr. Reyes. But with that, we will move on to I believe we're, sorry, got my attachments out here. All right, regular agenda. Do we have any commissioner communications? None? Thank you. All right, and with that, we will adjourn.